If I send out 100 letters, I'm going to get 10 calls. I usually set 3-ish listing appointments from the 10 and then usually list one. Well, a listing agent makes $1,400 for every hour they're working. So it takes 6 times longer to work with one buyer and get a home sold compared to working with one seller and getting a home sold. Don't get caught in analysis paralysis. What usually holds people back is they want to have the perfect letter, they want to have the perfect buyer, they want to have everything perfect. Take your shot. Get some letters out there.
Today I'm with Brendan Bartic, a US real estate coach who's built a team selling 450 homes a year, focused entirely on listing. In this episode, you'll learn why 7% of agents do 98% of the listings, the golden letter script that turns one buyer into multiple listing leads, and how to build a listing package vendors can't say no to. Right, let's dive in.
We've been lied to when we come into this business, and there's this segment where you're going, look, you only can do listings if you have experience, and you can only do listings if you've known the area and you've toured enough homes and you've done all of these things. And it's just not true. Let's pretend my name is Susie. When you list with Susie, you're getting New Zealand's most innovative home selling program that gets you the maximum net for your home without you having to do one-off showings, any open houses, and you get to pick your close date.
This episode is brought to you by Real Growth. If you're an agent who wants more listings, more income, and you want the exact strategies you can use to achieve success, you're in the right place. I'm Ben Hawkey, and this is the Real Growth Podcast.
Brendan, you've built an entire career and coaching program around one idea, which was that listings are the only business that really matters. A lot of agents in New Zealand, when they first get started in real estate, they start with working buyers. And so can you kind of make the case for the agents that are listing, why should they really focus on a listing first business?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And Ben, that's, so I always tell people, unfortunately for a lot of us, whether it's in the States or New Zealand or Australia, we've been lied to when we come into this business. And there's this segment where you're going, look, you only can do listings if you have experience, and you can only do listings if you've known the area and you've toured enough homes and you've done all of these things. And it's just not true. So what we've been trying to help a lot of agents with understanding is when you really focus on a listing based business, it's broken into simple categories. And the first thing that we really help people understand is a lot of agents have been trained to sell themselves. They're the product. So Ben, you're the best realtor in XYZ town. Ben is the brand. Well, we realized a long time ago that you're not the product. The product is the services that you sell to a client. So we're in the business of selling a branded grouping of products. So for example, I always ask people, I go, what do you sell? And a lot of people are like, I sell houses. I'm like, no, you don't. You don't sell houses, because if you sold houses, you'd own the house and you'd be selling your house. You don't own the house. Someone else owns the house. You provide a service that is a convenience to help them sell the house, hopefully for the most money possible in the shortest amount of time with the least amount of headache. That's what every seller wants, right? From every survey, Zillow, Realtor.com, you name it. So you provide a service. When agents understand that whoever has the better package of services can charge the most, provide the best level of service that solves the seller's problems, then those agents make the most money and they take the most listings. And we proved this time and time again with our Listing Beast program and helping agents build a named package. So, for example, Ben, most agents, if you were to go and meet with me about selling your house, you'd go, hey, when you list with Ben, I put you on the MLS, I do this, I do that, I put, or whatever you guys have in Australia, I put you on the system, I put a for sale sign in the yard, we take some pictures and we do all this. And then if the house doesn't sell, they go, Ben didn't do his job. Ben let me down. What we do is we go, look, you're selling a strategy in a program. So you want to think about it like this. Let's pretend my name is Susie. So when you list with Susie, you're getting you're getting New Zealand's most innovative home selling program that gets you the maximum net for your home without you having to do one-off showings, any open houses, and you get to pick your close date. I just need 15 minutes of your time to explain that. Are you available this afternoon at 4? Would tomorrow at 1 be better? So it's different than saying, hey, I'm Susie. I've been in the business for 10 years. I've sold a bunch of houses. Can I come by and talk to you about what I do? People want to buy into a strategy and program instead of having to go, I believe in this agent. So your question at the very beginning was, why are so few, like to the statistics of this, it's something like 7% of all of the agents are doing 98% of the listings.
Wow.
So only
In the US.
7% are controlling 98% of the listing volume. And it's because we tell everyone, because they don't want to give up that turf, right? They're going, hey, when you first come in, you got to go sit open houses, you've got to go tour homes, you've got to show all the buyers. And they know there's a thing on our website. We did a case study on this. Buyers agents make here in the States make $320 an hour. Now that sounds like a lot of money. You're like, oh, I make so much an hour. That's like cumulative over the time. Well, a listing agent makes $1,400 for every hour they're working, right? So it takes 6 times longer to work with one buyer and get a home sold compared to working with one seller and getting a home sold. So think about any job that I worked with you, Ben, and I said, you know what? Hey, you want to come do this job, and you're gonna make less, but you're gonna work 6 times harder. Enjoy working that job, right? So the reason, though, that so many agents do that is because they don't know how to sell a package of services, and they get fearful that if they go on a listing appointment and the seller goes, "Well, how many houses in my area have you sold?" Right? Their experience. Show me your resume. Well, if you don't have a powerful package that offsets that and goes, hey, our package has been proven to sell in any market. I just need 15 minutes of your time to take you through what makes it so valuable. And here's what we do. And this is how it works. A lot of agents just get so stuck on going, I'm scared to. And plus, think about it, at least in our country, the seller, for the most part, pays the listing commission and the buyer commission. So there's this psychology where if I work with buyers, well, if I get paid by the seller. So even if I'm working for this client, I don't necessarily, it might be different, in that area. So there's a lot more, they feel like there's a lot more risk, which keeps them isolated from moving forward. So we've tried to strip away all of that and go, look, there's really one thing that you need to be focused on. When you have a great, we call it an ILP, an irresistible listing package. When you have a package so good, sellers can't say no to it, then you feel excited to wake up every day and tell everyone about it. You feel excited to promote it. You feel excited to go on social media. You can't wait to scream from the top of the mountains. My program, like our team, we sold 450 some odd homes last year. We did 6.6 million in gross commission income. Ours is called Sold in 65, right? So our program, our listing program is Sold in 65. We have a 65-hour launch strategy that gets your home sold without you having to do one-off showings, any open houses, and you get to pick your closing date. Now, we designed that whole program to be around what the sellers hate doing. No seller wants to do an open house and have weirdos through their house that they don't know. No seller wants to be bothered with one-off showings. So for your listeners, it's going, if you want to figure out how to make more money per deal, figure out the problems that your sellers don't want to deal with and make your package around that. And we have a way to do that with our formulas and all kind of things to do that. And then like what your company does, market and just keep in front of them so that they constantly see the message over and over, because we know it's not if they're going to sell, it's when they're going to sell. It's just a matter of time. So that's what we do and that's what we work on.
And that makes complete sense. And so, like, depending on the market, depending on what it is, you're just identifying what are those challenges, the
Seller
struggles, the
problems.
concerns, the problems, yeah, that someone's, they're going on in the mind of the seller, and then I guess overcoming those in that listing package. What did you call it? The
Irresistible listing package. Yeah.
irresistible listing.
ILP. Yeah. Yeah,
And so
exactly.
when you're marketing that, and obviously when you sit in the room with the vendor and you're talking about that, are there any other ways in the marketing where you're communicating the value you provide, maybe to people who might not be thinking about selling right now, but when do you have content, or how else are you communicating that message to the market, even if it's to people that might not be thinking you're selling now? Are you using like case studies, or this is how we achieve this and this is the process we use? Like, what are you guys currently doing to
Exactly.
communicate that message?
So I'll answer that in two parts. So we found, because I did a study on this and I wrote a book on it called The Magnetic Blueprint. So like I took 3 years to go study all of the agents in the US, Canada, and Mexico, that basically North America, but that were making the most, selling the least. Meaning they were making the most per deal, not on average sales price, but on compensation. So like here, like, I can charge a seller 3%, 3.5, 4.5, 5.5, 6% on just the list side. And then we can offer out what we want to provide to optional buyer side compensation for them to come. So when I went and interviewed all of these agents and got all of the research, we found in a great package, there's kind of four key components. You've got number one, your core services. This is like the basic stuff: for sale sign, pictures, brochures, flyers. So you kind of have just core services. But then what we found the secret was is all the top agents had these extra bonuses. So they'd be like, Ben, not only do we do this, but we also provide a pre home cleaning. We clean your house for you, not the agent, but we have a cleaning service that comes through and does a spotless job to make sure your home is ready to sell. Or we offer a home warranty so that your property is protected while you're listed, while you're under contract, and 12 months after the contract closes. Or we provide a roll off dumpster, like a rollaway dumpster that we put in your driveway. And we have a decluttering company come and remove all the junk from your house, blah, 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 blah. Like these extra things that sellers want convenience, right? Especially sellers that are doing pretty well, right? They're busy. Selling's annoying, right? I don't want to have to get my house ready, declutter, clean out all the stuff that I have to do. So anything you can think of that makes it more convenient for them or removes the pain, they're willing to pay more for that. So all the top agents had bonuses. The next thing that we discovered, Ben, is they all offered a guarantee. So I'll give you some examples of a guarantee. So Ben, if you list with us and you're not 100% satisfied with my level of service or our program's level or our program strategy level of service, you can cancel the agreement at any time, no harm done. That's called an easy exit guarantee. The second guarantee is, Ben, I guarantee we'll sell your house in 30 days or I'll buy it. Right?
Good
And
guarantee.
we do that. We make those offers. Now, there's special terms and conditions that go along with that offer,
Yeah.
right?
Let's come back
And
to that.
yeah, I own several rentals because of that. Like I got such great deals on these properties because of the special terms and conditions that I own multiple properties that I made that exact offer to. But think about how many doors that got. Like I used to have it on a billboard that people would drive by. Brendan, our sold in 65, we'll sell your home in 30 days or we'll buy it. That's a pretty good thing to get. But people get scared about it because they're like, I'm not sure I can put my money where my mouth is. And I go, for every offer you're making, just like when you buy a cell phone, there's special terms and conditions that go along with your cell phone. So you just have to make sure we're doing everything honest. We're just explaining to the seller that if I were to do that, this has to be this way, this has to be this way, this has to be this way. So those are guarantees. We found that all of the top agents in the country had great core services, better bonuses, and then they offered some type of guarantee. We researched there's about 28 different unique guarantees out there that you can do a communication guarantee. Like if I don't communicate to you every week at this time, then the commission's reduced by 10%. It's not one that I love, but I do know agents that do it and have success with it. So it's just going, what are your sellers scared about? Take away their fear with a guarantee. And then the fourth
Yes.
one, which you alluded to at the very top, is what we call trust boosters, case studies, testimonials, going, we're telling the story of how our strategy worked. A lot of times, what you see, Ben, is agents have testimonials going, Ben was great. He was such a great agent. Well, that doesn't tell me what he did or what the program did or what was special about Ben's services. So now I have to decide, do I like Ben? And that's the hard part, right? Because when you're not selling a product, like exactly, the iPhone is a product. Sure, I might like Steve Jobs or not like Steve Jobs, but I like the product. I'm deciding on if I like the iPhone, not the person that made the iPhone per se. That's what we're talking about. None of us could even tell you who makes the Samsung Galaxy or whatever other phone there is. It's a product. So for whatever reason, agents all think they're like a Kardashian or a Michael Jordan or a influencer. You're not. You're just never going to be. You have to have so much name and brand recognition to be anywhere in that category. And all of us weren't born supermodels. All of us didn't have famous parents. For the rest of us, it's so much easier to sell a great package of services because people make decisions on the product. Is Ben's package better than Brendan's package? If so, go with Ben. Makes the most
Yeah.
sense, right? So that's what we're talking about there. So that was your first part, is we have to form great offer, the best offer that we possibly can, or package that way. Then you asked me, how do we communicate it all the time? So in the magnetic blueprint, we studied what the top agents were doing, and we found that there was a similarity on the way that they were using a funnel, basically a click funnel, to produce listing leads 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, while you're sleeping, while you're having like me, I grew up like cold calling in this business, like every single day, 4 hours a day, 6 days a week, expireds for sell by owners. So what we discovered is once you have a great offer, the next piece that you want to have is a great landing page, not a website, but a listing specific. We call it an LLP. If you don't notice, I like acronyms. A
Yeah.
listing landing page. So you've got your irresistible listing package. You're going to slap that on your listing landing page. And what people don't understand, the difference between a landing page and a website is built for vanity. It's got about us and our team and our stats and all of these things. And you can search for properties on it. A listing landing page does one thing. It takes your great offer and it promotes it and it captures leads. And it does it with two things: a lead magnet and then a what's your home worth widget, right? So you come to our landing page. If you want to find out what your home is worth, you fill out, you put in the address, it captures your information. And then it says, great, one of our representatives will give you a real life, not a algorithm Zillow or a realtor.com estimate, a real life estimate of what your home value is. No obligation, no consultation. That's a what's your home worth. The second is a lead magnet. So the 7 reasons why you shouldn't sell during the summer in Queenstown, right? Number 5 and 6 will shock you. So if I'm a seller, I want to know what that lead magnet is. It's offered on your site. I go and download it. Now, people, when they hear that, I go, well, of course you want to sell during the summer. It's still framed in the right way that they want to sell in summer, but you want to have some sort of inverted pain to make them want to download it. Like anytime you're doing a lead magnet, if I just said the top 10 reasons to sell with Brendan, well, you're not going to download that, right? There's got to be some curiosity there of going, maybe they know something I don't know because I was thinking about selling during the winter in Queenstown or whatever area, Sydney, wherever your listeners are at, right? I was thinking about doing all these things. It's like, we want to capture their information. So that's a lead magnet. So first step, great offer. Second step, get your great offer on a landing page. Now, in the book, I break down, we studied the conversion of what are the 8 key things you need on a listing landing page. Like one of them is a video sales letter. So it's you coming on for just 30, 60 seconds and going, hey, my name is Brendan with our most innovative home selling program. We do X and take away X. If you have questions, I'd love to get to know you better. Just click here to set a free consultation and we'll blah, 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 blah. Right. So there was things to make it personal, but it's all about listings. It's all about how I can help you get your home sold. No distractions, no blog, no about us, no other ding dongs, flying all around. It's
Yeah.
just simple call to actions. So, irresistible package, landing page. Number 3, lead magnets, right? And again, we have 50 different lead magnets we use, like templates that people can use that fill in the blank for your area, right? Obviously, the more custom it is, the more valuable it is, but all kind of things.
So
Then the
just
next one, yeah,
sorry,
please go
just
ahead,
to
man.
jump in,
Yeah.
Brendan, just so I understand, because we're talking about the listing package, but then we're talking about lead magnets, and we're talking about what's your home worth. If you can just lay out for people listening the kind of the order is there, because must be different landing page for different things. Like, is it if you're running an ad on, a lead magnet to download on the 5 reasons why you shouldn't sell in summer, and the the last two will shock you. Is that kind of the opening kind of lead magnet? Once they've downloaded that, then it goes to the VSL with, hey, this is about me and this is our process and this is our program, or like which order? Because we've kind of, I just want to make sure everyone's really clear on the
Yeah.
order of things, if that makes sense. So are you able to
It's
just quickly rephrase
It's
the
such a
order
good
of how
question.
it
Yeah, so you asked a variety of questions in there. One is you can have niche landing pages for niche sellers categories. So, for example, I could have a landing page just for expired listings. If they, if you guys have expires, meaning they came off the market. We have people that run niche landing pages for over 55 sellers, like meaning in our, we call them seasoned, like people that are going to go into a nursing home, if you will, right?
is.
We have people that have horse property niches, all kind of things. So think about it like this: the lead magnet is the offer that you're going to make in an ad, which is what I was going to get to next with promotion, either organically or paid. So when I have a lead magnet, let's say that my lead magnet is the 7 reasons not to list in Queenstown during the summer.
Before we move on with the episode, I just want to share something genuinely useful, especially if you're a real estate agent or a real estate business owner. Now, after analyzing over 2,000 property listing campaigns, we found something most agents miss. 20 to 30% of buyer inquiries are coming from local homeowners. And around 10% of those homeowners go on to sell their own property within the next 12 months, which means your future listings are often already sitting amongst those buyer inquiries. You just don't know who they are and how to uncover those opportunities. And that's why we created the Level Up Listing Toolkit. It's a free resource we have created that will show you how to identify those homeowners, nurture them properly, and ultimately convert them into future listings. You can download the toolkit by clicking the link in the show notes below, or if you're on Instagram or Facebook, just comment the word toolkit and we'll send it directly to you. All right, back to the episode.
I'm going to promote that on my organic social media, my YouTube channel, if I have one, paid Meta and Facebook ads, TikTok, LinkedIn, whatever it might be. And then people are going to go, oh, I want that. So then that's the ad. They come to the landing page to your next question. And then there's going to be a little button that says download the free guide to get this. Underneath that is going to be your VSL with you talking, because above the fold, you want them to get what they want so you can capture their information. If they do that immediately so I'll answer it both ways. The answer is yes to both. You're going to have it both on the same page. But when I hit that landing page and I download the free guide, the next thing that pops up is a thank you page that says, we just emailed you the 7 reasons. If you would like a free valuation of what your home is worth right now by a human, a real human being, not a robot in today's market, click here to schedule a phone consultation so we can get the full details of your property. Takes them to your Calendly page. We use Go High Level software, which kind of has it all built into one platform, but whatever calendar software you're using, they book right there. You either have a Zoom or a phone call with them, get the details of their home, obviously either set the listing appointment or give them the free CMA. So it was a great question and how you have to, yeah, exactly right. Like
Order.
you're layering it to kind of put the little cookie crumbs step after step. Our
Yes.
goal is to book appointments on your page, like that calendar page. Like every day, we have agents, like right now, I mean, in our program that are having booked calendar appointments, and you tell people when you're available for the phone call on your calendar, that are booking one after another, right? People that want to know what their home is worth, or they're just interested in, now that they already have trust in you because you gave them a free guide, they've watched your VSL about your program. The rest of your page has testimonials, trust boosters, case studies, everything about why your program works. They want to list with you, right? You're building
Yes.
that digital relationship with them. Now, let's say that they download that free guide, never book the call. Then they go into a simple automation that's going to provide more free value to them about selling in Queenstown or whatever market you're in over and over and over again until the time is ready for them to sell, right? So you're going to give them 6 tips on how to declutter your closet, 5 things that you should be thinking about with your landscaping before listing your home, 9 steps, 3 things, 5 things, all of this value. But what most agents get it wrong, Ben, is somebody fills out the form, you call them up and go, you want me to come list your house? right? And you kind of burn that relationship. We've got to start. I want everyone to hear this. It's value, value, value. Like, think about it if you were dating someone, right? Like, you want to build this relationship. You want to send flowers, then send chocolates, take them to the movies, buy them a lobster dinner. It's the same thing with a regular client, but you're doing this digitally. If you just all of a sudden met your significant other and you were like, "Hey, let's start making out," like, unless you had a lot of tequila and you or some drinks in you, it's really hard to make that move, but you wanna earn this opportunity. You wanna hold hands, then you wanna hug, you wanna kinda go down the natural steps. Some people are just so aggressive, and it turns the seller off so fast. The more value you give at scale, the more listings you will receive.
Yes.
Yeah,
Understood. Understood.
yeah,
And I think we could do a whole podcast just on this, and we could go deeper and deeper and deeper, and I'd love to.
tons.
But there's some other things I'd love to ask you about. One
Please.
thing that really caught my attention was around the golden letter method that you've
Yeah,
spoken a lot about on your
yeah.
YouTube channel. And so, are you able to maybe explain to everyone in New Zealand what is the golden method letter, and how does it work, and maybe who is it for?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. So the golden letter is such a powerful, it's a lead magnet at the end of the day. So the premise is let's say that I want to target a neighborhood. So I'll just call it Shenandoah Estates, right? So I want to be the go-to agent in Shenandoah Estates. You're sending a letter to that neighborhood. So let's just make it simple numbers. There's 1,000 people in the neighborhood. I'll just say you're going to send 1,000 letters to this neighborhood, and the letter is going to say, "Hey, Susie, I currently am working with a buyer that's interested in purchasing a property in Shenandoah Estates. If you or anyone you know in Shenandoah Estates is interested in possibly selling their home, I would love it if you gave me a call and maybe we could make a deal happen off market." So you're basically sending out a letter. And of course, there's two ways to do it. When you actually have a buyer that's interested, but here's where I want to put this, Ben, is everyone gets caught up on the buyer.
Yes.
You are a buyer. Every real estate agent is a buyer to some degree, or you have an investor, whether you do or not right now. I try to explain when I teach this to our coaching clients is going, I can send that letter because if I go and over and meet a home seller and I feel like I can get a good deal on this property because maybe they're a hoarder or maybe they have 6 cats or 10 cats or not six, 20 cats, whatever it is. If I can get a good deal on this property, I can find an investor that wants to buy it, right? And I can go back and tell the whole world about it. So people get caught in their head of going, well, I don't have a buyer, so how can I send that letter? You're a
Yes.
buyer, your dad's a buyer, your mom's a buyer, somebody out there's a buyer. You're getting caught in your head with the definition of buyer. Somebody will buy that house at the right price. We're just trying to put out feelers to see who in that neighborhood wants to sell their home.
Yes.
Then so let's say, Sally gets the letter. She calls me up and goes, "Hey, Brendan, I got your letter. Like, do you have a real buyer for this?" And I go, "Of course I do. Absolutely. I mean, I'm not only do I have a real buyer for it, but I'm a buyer myself. So if you're interested in selling a property in Shenandoah Estates, I'd love to come over and take a look at it." Now, with scripting and all this, when you get to the house, you do a full tour of the house. You sit down with the client and you go, "Sally, I really appreciate you meeting with me. I'm going to be very honest with you. Number one, for me to purchase your home as an investor, or for the clients that I'm working with that's an investor, we are going to need to be at this number." So let's say the house is $500,000.
Yep.
I don't know what
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
because you
500,000
guys are on euros. Are they on euros
New
in
Zealand dollars.
New Zealand?
500,000 New Zealand dollars. Yeah.
New Zealand dollars, 500,000 New Zealand dollars, right? So 500,000 New Zealand dollars or whatever it is. And I'm going to go, so for us to buy this house, I would need to be at least 15% under market value because I've got to buy it, take the risk. I've got the holding costs. I have to do the repairs that we talked about as we walk through that house. Or the second option is, now that I know you want to sell, if I could take away all the pain of selling and get this launched the first weekend without you having to do a lot to the house, I can put it in front of thousands of buyers, drive a frenzy to your home, and get you the maximum net price for your house. So you have two options. Do you want to get the highest price and open it up to as many buyers and have me list it for you? Or do you want to have it as an investor purchase where you're going to almost get 15 to 20% under market value? The choice is yours. But based on seeing your property now in person, if I was being a fiduciary for you, I would put it out to the open market. So, and then I go, so what would you like to do? And they always look at me and they go, well, the one is going to get me 450. The other one's going to get me maybe five, maybe 525. Let's go with the other one. I go, excellent. So here's the plan that we're going to do. Here's the coming soon. Here's the launch schedule. Sign here. Take the listing.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's the perfect scenario, right? All in the one
That's it.
appointment.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And
Understood.
then
And do you have
so
some
people ask like the
examples?
metrics. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, no, you go. Carry on.
Well, people ask the metrics of this, if every 1,000 letters I send out, or even 500, or you can send out 300. Let's say I send out 300 letters, and each letter is $1. Like, and there's special things you want to do with the letters, like you don't want to put your return mailing address on it. It's better to hand address it. You want it to look more personal. The inside part you don't have to hand write; it can be just printed, but you want to hand sign everyone. We have stamps that we use sometimes. We used to have an actual, it would write every letter as a machine. It was like 5 grand and we stopped using it because it always break. But anyway, you can go as far as you want. You're trying to make it look authentic is what I'm trying to say, right? The more authentic it looks, the better off you're going to be. And you can't send it every month, obviously, because people are going to realize that it's a scam, right? So you probably don't want to do it more once than every 90 days is kind of the same. But on 300 letters, well, I'll use simple numbers. You're usually going to get about, for every mailer that you send, 10% of the people. So if I sent 100, 10% of the people are going to reach out with me for a phone call, right? So if I send out 100 letters, I'm going to get 10 calls. Out of those 10 calls, some are going to be nutballs, some are going to be whatever. I usually set 3-ish listing appointments from the 10 and then usually list one. So $300 if everyone's, or sorry, $100 for every letter, get about 10 calls, 3 people I'm going to maybe go meet with. One of them I'm going to take the listing, and the beat goes on. Now, it doesn't mean all the other people I'm never going to talk to again. They just weren't really ready. They weren't quite serious. They wanted way more money than the house was worth, all the variety of reasons. But now I've got their contact info. I continue to mail them, send them to my landing page. When the time is right, hopefully they go with me. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. But yeah, that's the golden letter process, the best way I could explain it.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that. And I think there will be agents, you did right, who will listen to that and get hung up on a few of the things that you've said in terms of like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah,
that
I always
won't
tell
work
people, Ben,
because of
stop
that
asking why
reason.
you can't do it and start figuring out how you can do it.
Exactly. And I think that's where we could maybe, because we could go deeper as well. It's like, okay, this is Brennan's approach, but you could tweak it slightly, and because some people will say, well, I don't want to buy it. I don't want to say this. It's like, well, how can you tweak it to make this actually
Totally.
work? But the
Yeah, the
concept,
problem though that I will put the warning to the audience though is if you send out letters and go, "Hey, I work with a lot of buyers in Shenandoah Estates. If you're ever thinking about selling, then that's just a marketing piece. There's no, like, the best ones that I've used, like when I have a real buyer for it, I tell the story of the buyer. So I'll write the letter and go, "Hey Ben, I'm currently working with this young couple. She's a nurse that just moved here from XYZ. He's a firefighter, whatever the backstory is. And we've been looking in Shenandoah Estates, but haven't been able to find the right property that's the right fit for their family yet. They just had a newborn, right? Get the heartstrings going."
yeah,
So I was curious if you or anyone you know might be thinking about selling. I would love to talk to you, talk about the details of your property, and see if we can get this amazing family a home.
yeah,
Like, doesn't that feel different, right? So if
yeah,
you
it does.
make it general, you're going to get general results. If you make it more human, you're going to get human results.
Yeah, 100%. And I think,
People love helping people. People love helping people. People don't love helping realtors,
yeah, exactly. And so
right?
I think that you've hit the nail on the head with it. A great approach is like, hey, how about just find a genuine buyer so you can go in there hand on heart saying you actually do have a genuine buyer, and like
You
you
should
can
do it
tell.
for every buyer. If you're going to work with buyers, you should do a golden letter for every buyer that you're working with, no matter what. They're looking for a specific neighborhood, but use it as a listing generator for you at the same time. If you're going to work 6 times harder, at least get the benefit of getting the listing leads out of it for whatever neighborhood they're looking to, even if it's not a neighborhood that you want to specialize in, but you're still going to send out those letters. You're not lying, right? You do have the buyer,
You do, yeah.
right? And yeah, because people are gonna be like, "Well, did you see the one down the street on the MLS?" And be like, you can be like, "Yeah, we saw that one, but my clients are looking for a main floor master, or they're looking for a walkout basement, or I don't know, whatever. They're looking for an unobstructed view." You can make up whatever excuse on why the ones that are active on the market aren't a good fit for them, and just get the feelers out, you know? Get the
It
feelers out.
makes complete sense. It makes complete sense. One of the, actually, one other thing I'll quickly touch on. Tell me what your thoughts are on this. But if you are sending out letters, like, would it be also to increase your, I guess, response rate? Maybe only send it to people who've been in their home for more than 3 years, for example. You know what I mean? There's no point sending a letter to someone who's just moved in to their new home. So, like, I know in New Zealand, you can go onto websites and you can actually get all of the information when they moved in, etc. And maybe you just go, I'm going to filter out anyone who's been in their home for less than 3 years, and I'm just going to do it on this specific area. Do you guys do something
So
similar in the US, just to
yeah,
kind of reduce the?
so 2 parts to that. Yes, we do that. So with the magnetic blueprint, there's a 6-part framework. So we talked about the irresistible listing package, the landing page, lead magnets, promotion, and then number 5 is data. And when we get to data, you're exactly right. There's 2 types of data. You have your database, which most agents aren't utilizing for Facebook targeted ads, custom audiences. They're not running it through, there's services like PropStream and others that run like skip tracing data to like tell you when they should move next and all this stuff. So you're exactly right. The next 10 years is going to be the massive evolution, and it's already been here, but it's only a few agents are really utilizing it, of data, right? Like people know right now because of your insurance company, whether you're a smoker, when you're most likely to die, if you have medical issues and you blew out your knee and like you can't go upstairs anymore. So think about it like you're looking at 2-story properties. You're going to soon be able to have data where the person that's living in it just had knee surgery, and you'll be able to know that. So you could target those types of houses, to your point, Ben, of asking like, people that just moved in, should you mail to them or not? There's 2 ways I want to answer that. One, when you're doing a golden letter, you can still have success with mailing to the entire neighborhood and don't have to worry about the analytics, because that person that just moved in just now, they might go across the street and talk to their neighbor, right? Maybe they didn't get the letter, or maybe they talked about it, whatever. So you're exactly right. If you don't want to spend the money on it, because that person, you're exactly right, is not the most likely to sell right now. So yes, using the data can help a lot in discerning that. But what I tell people is, don't get caught in analysis paralysis. What usually holds people back is they want to have the perfect letter, they want to have the perfect buyer, they want to have everything perfect. Take your shot. Get some letters out there. Start with your first 100, your first 200. Get some feedback, screw it up, see what worked, what didn't. Maybe you get one callback, maybe you get no callbacks. Learn more, study, like you said, watch YouTube videos, learn how other people are doing it. There's so many little nuances, just like everything, like podcasting. There's nuances to all of this. The first one, I'm sure you were like, oh, this is kind of scary. And then now you're like, okay, you do this, click here, and it's kind of like that. You get more and more comfortable with it, but people get so stuck and they just won't take action. It's like, be less afraid of what could go wrong and just keep trying it until it gets better, right? It'll
Yep.
make it so much more fun.
Is that a key trait that you see amongst successful agents and unsuccessful agents? Is that they're action takers? Like, what are some of the common traits when you look across all of the agents you work with?
The most
What is
common trait that I find is you have a huge learning gap. So the agents that are making the most learn the most. Right? I mean, that's the biggest thing. They're not sitting at home at night watching Netflix or CSI or whatever TV show. They're waking up a little bit earlier. They're reading books. They're digesting YouTube videos. They're going to masterminds. They're going to the conferences. Like, I've been to conferences. I've probably been just like most operators, more conferences than I could ever imagine, because every time I come back with a nugget, but then I get the nugget and I implement, right? And I try it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work at all. And sometimes it's just not the right fit for me, but I get these little, remnants of it. So I would say the biggest gap is the ignorance tax. They're ignorant to all of the things that are the nuances. And then they sometimes hear something, they try it once, they don't tweak it, and they think that it didn't work, right? Like this golden letter. We have tons. I mean, I talk about golden letters a lot with a lot of people, and the reason people like golden letters, Ben, is because It's not you getting on a
Now,
phone, having to make an outbound call. It's a marketing tool. So people like it, but they'll do it and they won't do the nuances of it. So they'll put a label on the letter and they'll put their return address to their office. They won't follow the code that is very important of how you do this. They'll put a QR code on it to their website, right? Which you would think, hey, well, that would be better if I added a QR code. Well, no, because it makes it less personal, right? Remember, it's psychology that we're working with here. It's not a billboard. If you wanted to just mail a neighborhood, send a postcard and say, do you want to sell? QR code here if you want to. This is psychological philosophy that we're trying to do here. So yeah, you've got to be willing to do the heavy lifting on the front side to go, let me make sure I understand it. And then if it doesn't work, I go, let me look at what didn't work. Was it
yes,
maybe I didn't do enough mailers? Maybe I mailed it on the like think about it too. We have people that'll do mailers and their mailer will land on Christmas Day. And they're like, "Oh, I did the mailer." And it's like, "Well, of course no one called you back. Your mailer landed on Christmas Day." Or, everything's seasonal here, like depending on where you're at. It's like we know golden letters don't necessarily work during the December, November month because of Thanksgiving here in the States and Christmas. But so instead of spending the budget on those 2 months, I wouldn't send a golden letter then. I would send a boatload of letters in January and February, though. So it's like those are those little things where agents get discouraged because they hear kind of the story, but they don't hear the whole story. And then they go and do it and they go, oh, that didn't work. That's all baloney. It's like, no, there's nuance and strategy to it.
I understand exactly what you're saying. And I was speaking to actually a lot of agents that I speak to. I was speaking to Colton Lindsay from America, and he mentioned something that you also talk about, which is around client appreciation events. Now, that's something that we don't really do that much in New Zealand. However, I think there's a massive opportunity for agents to run, whether it's a community event, a local event, inviting past clients. But I think where we're probably have a lack of understanding is actually how to run them successfully. Are you able to maybe expand a little bit about, say you're an agent, you've got 100 people in your database, maybe you've only sold 40 or 50 homes. Maybe what's limiting them is like, I don't have enough people in my database to invite to, like, can you explain what actually a client appreciation event is and maybe how you can kind of run it successfully and so it doesn't cost a lot of money? Because that's another thing. Oh, Jesus, I don't have lots of money. So how can I do this? So do you mind giving us a bit of a backstory around the client appreciation events and how agents are running it in North America?
Hey, if you're getting value from this conversation and you're the type of person who doesn't want to listen to good ideas, but you actually want to implement them, we've built something for you. Every podcast we record, we pull out the key strategies and turn them into done for you action plans, scripts, and templates. So instead of frantically scribbling notes or telling yourself, I'll come back to that later and never doing it, we're giving you the actual tools to go and implement what you're hearing right now. You can find all of this inside the Real Growth Listing Lab. Every guest, every episode, every strategy turned into something you can use to start growing your business tomorrow. Just click the link in the show notes. It'll only take 10 seconds. Right, let's get back into it.
Absolutely. And so my wife is a very talented and very successful top agent as well. And she just did a client appreciation event. So she partnered with, well, I'll kind of explain that. So we follow a very strict 72 touch plan a year. And in those 72 touches for any of our clients in our database, 4 of those are 4 client appreciation events. So we do one client appreciation event every 90 days. Now, in doing the client appreciation events, early on, you're trying to get like your staple ones. So, like, we have a park party. So, talking about cost, it's like, and when we first did this and we were kind of broke on a budget, it was like a park party here in Denver. We have like this beautiful park called Wash Park, and it's gorgeous. And it's like the first thing was just like, invite everybody to it in our database. You can bring your dogs, bring your kids. I set up the volleyball nets, set up the here they call it cornhole, but you like the thing you throw the
Yeah,
bags in
yeah,
with the little hole on it. I
yeah,
don't know if it translates,
yeah,
right? But
yeah.
like, neighborhood games, like, park games. And it cost us like, and beer, and we provided beer and wine and all that. I mean, it was probably like I don't know, $300. I mean, it wasn't a lot. And so everybody came, you had a great time, you got to connect with everyone. We asked him to bring a friend because obviously we want to meet new people, like bring your friend. A lot of people did. And it was just a get together. And I think people overcomplicate it, that people want human connection. Right. And like me, I'm like, I got enough friends. I don't really want any new friends. I know that sounds cold, but it's like a lot of people, they want to meet people from the neighborhood. They want to meet people that are in the area. So that would be the cheap way of explaining it. And then once you get it, then it starts getting bigger. So then we started having it like catered over the years and had like a barbecue food truck come and deliver it. We had like a juggler for the kids. Like it starts to evolve. So that would be like a basic example of like how you can start very inexpensive. The second piece that most people don't realize is to have it sponsored. So now we never pay for it. The lender pays for it, our title rep pays for it, our inspection company pays for it, or a portion of all three of them are paying for it. And at the end, I do a little speech and I go, "Thank you to Tim or Annie Lemon with Lemon Lending. She's amazing. We couldn't have done this without her." So now we don't even pay a single dollar because the sponsors want to pay for it to talk about how great their product is and if they need the seller or buyer to use them. So
It's
that's the first step. The second piece is you don't have to have this huge event. A client appreciation event can be as small as having coffee with a client, right? So you got to look at every quarter going, who are my VIPs? Like if you could see my whiteboard behind here, I have what we call ambassadors. So an ambassador means someone that I know likes me, that would do real estate business with me, that would refer real estate business to me. So in my database, like let's say that you have a database of 300 people, I might have a hundred ambassadors. The other 200, they kind of know me, like they don't really love me yet. They don't know, I know, they're in my database, but there's this 100 that I know loves me. So I'm going to make sure that they get my 72 touch. I stay in touch with them. And then there's this tiny, tiny group called super ambassadors. And these are the people that have given me a ton of referrals, that are like the HR director at a hospital that I know meets tons of people, that are going to connect me to tons of people. Those people get even special touches. Like they get invited to my house for dinner, right? Like maybe a couple, like we'll do a dinner party for 8 and it's like the super ambassadors. So you just want to think about classifying it and start out small. Try to think of how you can get a group of people to coming together, and then use the sponsors to offset the cost.
Yeah. And how do you position it? Like, because if this is something that's not common, right, within a small town, what's the average? Is it sending out an email saying we're doing a? Do you call it a client appreciation event, or do you call it
Yeah,
something different? Do you call it a
yeah,
community
yeah.
event? And and
No,
and
it's a
and
client
how do you,
appreciation. I go, I just want to, I want it, whether they're a client or not, whether they've bought from you or not, or done anything with you, you're just going, "Hey, I just wanted to thank everyone for all of your support. We've had such a fantastic year, and we're going to be having a party at XYZ Park, or people do night at the zoo, people do movie nights. They rent out the movie theater. I mean, I've seen, we've done millions of different things, but it's also just got to be something where it's fun and you're just trying to get networking people. So if people are in those areas are feeling uncomfortable with it, you're just going, I just want to get together with people that are, it's kind of like a networking event, but you don't want to call it a networking event because you want them to thank you for hosting it. Right. And there's no cost, right? You're fronting the cost. So you're just saying, thank you for being a great client. I can't wait to see you guys at the event. If you want to bring a friend, that's totally fine. I need you to RSVP by this date. There's going to be beer and wine. We'll also have games, whatever the offering is. When I was saying about my wife, she just rented out um, a florist and did like, it was all, not to sound sexist, it was mostly women in her group. So she had her super ambassadors, and it was like 15 women that went and learned how to put floral arrangements together, right? So that's the example of a client appreciation event. These were like her top clients. She rented out the florist. The guy did a whole demonstration. All the ladies left with bouquets of flowers. Everyone's happy, right? But the lender paid for it. She didn't have to necessarily spend out of pocket on it. All of them are taking pictures. Had such a great time at Catherine's client appreciation event. If you ever need a real estate agent, call Catherine. That's how it works.
yeah, gotcha. I just wanted to dig a little bit deeper because I know the agents are going, how do I actually do that? So it's like
Right. Well, and then,
a couple of those
and I'll
little
tell
details.
people, you got to decide on the style of business you like if you're not extroverted and you really like love being around social people. I don't. I might seem that way on this podcast. I feel comfortable when I'm on in this, like I'm in my own world, right? But like I hate being social. My wife loves it. So I always tell people, don't do things that you're not going to enjoy because you think someone else is doing it. Find your path. Maybe you're better at doing digital funnels. Maybe you're better at doing seller seminars, right? You want to do buyer or seller seminars digitally and invite people to your seminar and tell them how to buy a home or sell a home in that area. But don't force yourself to do client appreciation events if you're not very social. You will hate it,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, you'll
No, I
hate
think
it.
one of the things I picked up, which I just wanted to, so you're saying you definitely, like, I think a lot of agents, you said the nuances of doing things. One of the nuances I picked up, and correct me if I'm wrong, was you actually have an RSVP. Like, it's like
Yes.
you're inviting them. So it's not just like, we're doing this on this date.
Open up the gates. Yeah, it's not a
Um,
county fair.
no,
Yeah.
it's a letter, well, not a letter. It might be an email with like, a bit like a digital
Yeah,
invite. And
Evite.
like,
Yeah, an Evite. Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah,
think that
almost
was,
like yeah, exactly. Like if I was getting invited to your Super Bowl party or your World Cup party or whatever, right? Like rugby party, whatever it is, it's like I want to know how many people are coming so I can figure out how much food we're going to need and how many hot wings we're going to need or whatever it is, right? Like yeah, you want people to feel special and like this was an event that you and specifically asked them to. And then after, here's another nuance. A lot of people will be like, when they get there, it'll be like, hey, we're running a raffle for like a TV. So fill out this slip. And then if you can put one person that you think might be interested in buying or selling real estate, they ask for them to do that. Now you can do that. Like people are asking like for the referrals because they're going, I need the business right now. So I'm doing the event. I want to do like a giveaway, but you have to give me something in return. I just found that to be really tacky. It's like, if you're inviting someone to a client appreciation event and then asking them to give you a referral of someone that's looking to buy or sell so they can win a cooler or I don't know, whatever, like it just kind of cheapens it. So each person, but people have had success with it. As I said, to each their own. I just want to go, I'm coming from value. I want to meet you if I'm going to do this and I want you to have a good time. And really the value that you're getting is the pictures, right? The promotional value, like I see agents do client appreciation events and then they don't post any, promotional. I want to make it look like you missed out because you didn't RSVP and you're going to want to come to the next one.
yeah, yeah. So really try and blow it up on social, get
Blow it
other
up.
people to take pictures. Yeah, really
Yeah. Look at
maximize it.
everybody having fun with Brendan, this great agent. That's so fun.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm just conscious of time, and I've only got through a few questions, so I'll wrap things up because of your time commitments. But one of the big topics right now is AI, right? And I know you're using AI across coaching your business, from like listing lead funnels that you spoke about to like using it for like role playing and like improving your scripts.
Yeah. Market analysis, CMAs are huge, right? Valuing houses is super helpful. Yeah.
So for agents watching who feel like they're getting a little bit left behind and maybe they're at like level one mode where they're just asking ChatGPT, like, what's the weather going to be like tomorrow? Or like, write my listing presentation. What should they be doing today to start using it, you know, taking it to the next level in their real estate business? Like, what have you seen other agents doing to really maximize it?
Yeah. So I always start with going, our job is to try to get out as much value to our audience, meaning our clients, as possible. So the agents should be using it every single day to either help them draft email value that they can put out, create lead magnets, create 7 checklists, 10 reasons. Like I would, like if I was, like right now, I could pick up, ChatGPT and say, what are the 7 reasons why I might not want to sell in spring if I live in Aurora, Colorado? And it'll go through this whole thing and I'll go, great. Now put that into a 2-page PDF guide. Great. Now I've got a lead magnet. Now write me an email that I can put out to my database that I can attach the PDF to and make it friendly and kind and just say, hey, I just, as we're getting into the spring months, I want to make sure you have this guide to make sure everyone that's thinking about doing this. So it's like using it for that of like, there's so much value that it can produce so quickly and then I can take that same sequence and go, now write me a Instagram post that says link to bio for the free download. DM me if you want the 7 reasons why. So in that whole sequence, I just made 4 or 5 different pieces of marketing value that I can get out to my clients instead of me sending an email going, "Hey, I've got big goals this year. I was just curious. Are you still thinking about selling?" Right? It's so different. You know what I mean? So the AI should be that friend that we're using. The second biggest thing that you should be using it for is I've been leveraging it so much for pricing, not to tell me what I should price a home at or help a seller price a home at, but to help the seller understand that the smartest robot brain on earth is stating that for them to sell their property in this first weekend, they need to be at or below this number. So I have a prompt that is on one of our YouTube videos. Just it's how to do a so just go to Brendan Bartic. It's how to do a CMA with AI. Like there's a prompt that goes through all this, not trying to have the CMA done by AI, but explaining to the client, going, look, this thing is 1,000 times smarter than me. And it's saying that you want to list at 1,000,000 too. It's saying you can't really go over 1,000,000 and it lists all the reasons why. So I just wanted to make sure you had this report. So you have the smartest brain on earth. I'm telling you on everything that I see, I don't think it should be over X, and then you still want to be $200,000 overpriced. It's your home, it's your choice, Ben, but I just want to make sure you have all the data. So see how powerful that is? I'm going, it's not what I think, it's what the smartest brain on the planet thinks, right? So I really think people are underutilizing it as a tool for that. And you can feed it your own comparables from your multi-list service or whatever. I can feed the stuff that I want to tell chat and go, you analysis, like data analysis, it can do things in seconds that would take me hours to do. Every contract I have it review, of course, I review it as well, but I don't want to miss a single detail. I import every contract and go, you are the greatest Colorado real estate attorney on the planet, or sorry, in the state of Colorado. We're here in the States, right? But say, whatever town, Queenstown, whatever. I went bungee jumping there. That's the only reason I know.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. There must
yeah.
be something there. So
Yeah, it's the only. I mean, we spent 2 weeks and we went from the North Island to the bottom. So I love New Zealand, but whatever town you're in, and going review this contract A to Z, and I want you to look out for these specific things like earnest money or inspection deadlines, and it can just summarize things. It's brilliant at analyzing, right? That's what it really is good at. So I just think agents are sleeping on it sometimes because they feel like it's going to replace them. I'm going, it should just give you the ability to do 10 times more faster and be safer than you ever had been before. So you don't screw up and miss something.
yeah. Well, thank you for giving us some actual use cases of how to use it. It's always good to get other examples with AI. Take over more of the maybe the operational tasks. Where do you think agents still fit into this in the next 3 or 4 years? Like, what's your personal thoughts on this? How is this thing going to evolve over time? I'm just going to get your thoughts on that.
Absolutely. Well, here's the thing. You want to be a specialist, not a generalist. So as we start to move forward, what I mean by that is you want to niche down in whatever you're doing. I always tell people the brain surgeon makes a lot more money than the general doctor. And agents are scared of becoming specialists. So whether you specialize in beach properties, whether you specialize in equestrian, over 65, condos, high rises, whatever it is, have a specialty, because as with AI having more and more information available, people are going to pay money to the person that is the real specialist in a particular field. Like I'm a real estate coach. I don't do general real estate coaching. I do one thing: listings and listing lead funnels. That's all I do. That's my niche. That's how people know me. That's how we're talking right now from New Zealand. You wouldn't have sourced me out if I was just one of the billion other real estate coaches, right? So it's like niche down in your market, then you're going to be safe with AI much more than the generalist, because very soon, yeah, people will be able to have access to the homes like Uber Eats and being able to just, walk in and tour a home without an agent. They'll be able to do this. But the people that really are about to drop $500,000 on a home, they're going to want to know that you're the Shenandoah Estates specialist, and that they're going to want your guidance and advice on doing this, because a robot can't give that to them, right? They won't have that. So we always say this, niche down to blow up. Like, you have to make sure that you carve out this space in your business that no one else can come in on, or maybe not no one else, but you're one of 3 people that are the best of the best. If you're just going to be like everyone else and you just open up doors and you go, hey, like, I need a real estate agent and Susie's, got her license. Why not just go show me some houses? What's your real value? Right? I mean, if I ask you a question and you don't have an answer and I can ask it in 3 seconds and a robot can tell me, there's nothing really valuable there. So why should I use you?
Yes. No, that makes complete sense. And just one final question to leave the agents with. If there was one key takeaway that you would want agents listening to take away from today's, I guess, podcast, what would that one thing you'd like them to take away from today?
Yeah, focus on your offer, right? That irresistible listing package. Think about it like this. Like, you make so much money and work so much less when you work with sellers versus buyers. So if you just sold 2 or 3 houses a month, maybe in your area 4, depending upon your average sales price, right? If you do that month after month over and over, you're going to make a fortune. Like, all of our clients make, they're in the top 1% of producers in the country because they're not being bogged down with all of the other distractions of doing this. When you have a great package, you're excited to tell everybody about it. It makes promotion so much easier, but you got to take the time to make that package, because if you just go, hey, when you list with me, I'm just like the other 400 agents, 500. Here in Denver, we have 18,632 agents in Denver, right? So I've got to be better than 18,631 other agents to stand out in that crowd. How do I stand out in that crowd? Well, if I just go, I'm a realtor or I'm an agent, just you got to decide if you like me, that's really hard to do. But if everybody knows sold in 65, it does this, it does that, it does this, then you can start really promoting it. And now with digital promotion, it's so inexpensive. Before I had to have like TV commercials and radio and billboards. Now with Meta and Facebook and Insta and TikTok and LinkedIn, I can get my message not only in front of my own database, but targeted database or targeted audiences for pennies a day. That used to cost me, I used to spend $10,000 on a billboard every month. For that same amount of traffic, I can spend like $300 on Meta to get the same amount of eyeballs on my message. So you have to learn this stuff. My advice would be, get your package right, and then just start thinking about, how can I get my message in front of people digitally for the lowest cost possible? Nothing can touch you then.
Before we finish, here are 2 simple actions you can take following today's episode. First, if you're a real estate agent focused on growing your real estate business and you'd just like some clear guidance on what marketing and prospecting systems you should be focusing on so you can list more properties, make more money, and ultimately build a sustainable long-term real estate business, simply click the link in the show notes and book a marketing roadmap call with either myself or the team. Or alternatively, if you're happy with the income you're making, please just hit the share button and share this episode with an agent in your office who might benefit from hearing it. Anyway, guys, thanks for listening. I appreciate your support, and I'll see you on the next episode.